People hear the word bankruptcy and they shudder. I'll never get credit again. It's going to be on my record for 10 years. I feel embarrassed. I want to pay my bills. Many honest people share these feelings. I'm attorney Stuart Sandweiss, and I'm here to shatter some of the myths that people tell me about bankruptcy. First, people are worried about their credit score. Well, I'm here to tell you that if you've got a lot of debt and you're behind, you've got delinquencies and so forth, chances are you've got a low credit score already. Filing bankruptcy is only going to help it improve. In fact, I've seen people go from the low 500s to over 720 in under 3 to 6 months. I've had calls from clients who tell me a week or two after filing, wow, you were right. I got 2 or 3 credit card offers in the mail. It's amazing. So all these things about, well, it's going to be on my record for 10 years, that may be true, but so what? Banks love to give credit to people who just filed bankruptcy. Why? Because you can't file again for another 8 years. The second thing to know is that bankruptcy is a very responsible choice. It's been around since the times of the Bible. Remember, even in Leviticus, it talks about the cancellation of debt in a sabbatical year. In the United States, the bankruptcy had its roots in the Constitution, where the Constitution says that Congress can enact uniform laws on the subject of bankruptcy. The Supreme Court has said that the purpose of bankruptcy is to help the unfortunate but honest debtor get out of debt, get the fresh start that they deserve so that they're not saddled with debt all of their life. The idea is to move on. If something bad happened, okay, time to move on. Bankruptcy recognizes that there are a lot of factors that are beyond your control. People experience a job loss, people have unforeseen medical expenses, they get divorced. Years ago, we had the real estate crisis when all of a sudden property values plummeted out of nowhere. And of course, in 2020, we had the COVID-19 crisis where people were out of work, the economy tanked. And there's a lot of reasons that why people are in debt. The purpose of bankruptcy is to help them relieve them from things that are not necessarily their fault. A lot of people are in this situation because the credit card companies have given them too much debt. They've allowed them to charge up high balances. I've had people with $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, $100,000, or well more than that worth of credit card debt that they're never, ever going to be able to pay, especially when the credit card companies are charging them 14, 18, 20, 22, 25, 30, even 30% interest. Can you imagine that? This is the business model that they use. Lure people in and then hope that they're going to default, hope that they're going to be late so that they can keep charging them exorbitant fees, and that's how they make money. And that's why I never feel bad if somebody files bankruptcy and has a lot of credit card debt, because frankly, nobody feels bad when the credit card charges my clients an exorbitant rate of interest and expects them to pay it. And quite frankly, I'd rather see the money with my clients than with the credit card companies. Another myth that I hear all the time is that people feel like they're a failure if they have to file bankruptcy. Well, that's a myth. It's not true. Abraham Lincoln filed bankruptcy. Ulysses Grant filed bankruptcy. They became president of the United States. A couple of others did as well. Henry Ford filed bankruptcy. Walt Disney filed bankruptcy. Some of Donald Trump's companies filed bankruptcy, and they were all successful in whatever they were doing. So just because somebody's in a bad financial situation for the time being doesn't mean they're not successful. It's a matter of if they don't fix the situation and get out of it, get the fresh start, then they're not successful. So if you're in a situation where you're overwhelmed by debt and so forth, please don't let your bad feelings get the best of you. Know that bankruptcy is a responsible choice and take the appropriate steps so you can get your fresh financial start. If you've got any questions about bankruptcy or what to do, how to get out of debt and so forth, please feel free to call me, shoot me an email. I'll be glad to take your questions.